I-V-M.
We would like to thank Storytel for sponsoring this show. Storytel is an audiobook platform that's available on your mobile, on your PC, wherever you'd like to listen to this. So what I'm going to recommend this week is a story that I first read when I was in school. It's Kabuliwala by Rabindranath Tagore. I, of course, read this in Hindi. It was part of my Hindi text. The original is in Bengali, but you know what Storytel has? It has an English translation of this story. And it's not just this story. There are a number of Rabindranath Tagore stories that they have. They have The Hungry Stones, they have The Solemn Vision, they have Forsake. Really, really good stuff. So, definitely go check it out. Get a bunch of Rabindranath Tagore books in your first month. And go and sign up at storytel.com/IVM and you'll be able to get your first month for just 99 rupees instead of $2.99. That's $200 off your first month. Go, go, go now.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the Positively Unlimited podcast. I hope you are ready to receive another piece in this puzzle that we all call finding your life purpose. When they say that we must all follow our heart, it is more true for this entire life purpose quest than for anything else. Yes, when it comes to figuring out the meaning of your life, why you are here, what's the higher purpose that you will serve, it is your heart that must guide you. It is your heart that must tell you which direction you need to be walking in. And which is why it's extremely important for you to understand your heart. What do you like? What do you love? What fills your heart with joy? And what pains you? What causes that heaviness in the chest? What aspects of your behavior and personality feel so true and so aligned that your heart would call it your essence? In order to find your life purpose, you need to become a heartistic person. One who knows how to trust their own heart, how to take chances when the heart guides them to, and the courage to stand up for what your heart believes in. Now, I get that all of this is easier said than done. It's not like the head sits in the corner quietly, right? It's not like those thoughts can just leave us alone. But the head is there for a purpose. It has a very important function and an important role to play. It's called devil's advocate. Yes, your head is the heart's sounding board. It is how the head keeps questioning you for two very important reasons. One, it is to weed out any illusions that you have created over the many years that you have lived. And two, is to build your conviction, to build your belief in your own heart. Now, how do you become a heartistic person, though? It's not like you can wake up tomorrow morning and suddenly be this person who can follow their heart no matter what, right? We all have responsibilities, we all have commitments, we all have certain choices we've made, people, life, relationships. So much is going on for each and every one of us. So how does one learn to connect with their own heart? The simplest way to do it is to answer this one question that I'm going to put before you now for the next 21 days. Yes, mark the date that you have listened to this episode and count 21 days from then. And every day in writing, answer this question. What gives me joy? You can also answer this question in a slightly different way. What fulfills me? However, this thing of what fulfills me can confuse some of us. So personally, I like to keep it simple. And I just ask myself, what gives me joy? Now, remember one thing. If you are going to try to answer this question from a professional point of view only, because you are so obsessed with living your passion and your purpose must make you money and your career should be about your purpose, then you are not going to be able to really tap into your heart. So don't do that. What gives you joy? The answer to this question should come in all areas of your life. You need to answer it with regards to who you are as a person. So, for instance, drinking coffee gives me joy peacefully. When I get to drink coffee peacefully and just sit and be with myself, it gives me joy. When I help a friend and I'm there for them, irrespective of what they are going through and how difficult the situation we both may find ourselves in, at the end of the day, it gives me joy that I'm able to do that, right? When I eat ice cream, it gives me joy. So being a kid, being playful gives me joy. What else? Let me think. Yes, there are bigger things like traveling gives me joy. Guiding somebody in my professional space gives me joy. Dancing gives me joy. So every day for the next 21 days, answer this question exactly as I have just done, in short, simple sentences. Don't explain, don't justify, just write simple answers. And I'll tell you this, you will know that you are writing the right answer or an answer that is aligned to the question if that answer makes you smile, it makes you laugh, and it makes your heart feel light and happy. So there you have it. One very simple way of becoming a heartistic person. The step 2 to this particular journey of growth and evolution is to do more of the things that give you joy, which means that list that you will create in those 21 days. And yes, there may be a lot of times that you will repeat the same thing. It's okay. It doesn't matter. You will get a list and you will see a certain pattern. You'll be able to see that, okay, XYZ type of things give me joy, or XYZ type of moments give me joy, right? So when you see that pattern, you need to start acting more like that, more in sync with that, than this struggling persona or lost persona or troubled persona that you may have. Well, there you have it. 2 simple steps through which you can start tapping into your heart, reconnecting with yourself, and, well, you can start living from the heart and living in the heart. I used to have a teacher. In fact, he has a beautiful meditation called Unity Breath or Living in the Heart meditation. And the statement that he uses is live in the heart. I know that a lot of us say live from the heart, but for a moment, just repeat this to yourself. I'm choosing to live in my heart. I'm choosing to live in and from my heart. And see what it makes you feel. It's a very nice feeling. And yes, do DM me and let me know what this exercise feels like. Share your journey with me. Tell me what it's like to ask yourself what gives me joy and what are the answers you come up with. You can write to me on Instagram. You can DM me. My handle is Positivity Angel. And you can connect with us on Instagram and Twitter on the IVM handle, which is IVM Podcasts. Also, if you want to listen to the previous episodes, especially this particular series of A to Z, which is all about life purpose, well, head to the IVM Podcast website or then download the IVM Podcast app.
I hope you enjoyed that show. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'd like to thank the sponsors on the network this week, Storytel and The Whole Truth Foods. Thank you for supporting us. So, great week on the network again this week. Definitely do check out the Pragati podcast. Pavan spoke to Chris Ashok. They discussed science, knowledge, and the wonder of Indian home cooking. Staying in the realm of food, on This Round Is On Me, we had A.D. Singh as a guest. Gauri and A.D. discussed the 10 years anniversary of The Table and the 20-year anniversary of Olive. So 2 of Bombay's biggest restaurateurs have a conversation about the restaurant business. All Things Policy celebrated 500 episodes on January 27th. Manoj talks to Aditya and Anirudh about the surprising origins of the podcast, its evolution over the last few years, and its exciting future. This episode also marks their video debut, so definitely do check that out on YouTube. On Storytellers and Storysellers, Vineet talks to Ranjit Pratap Singh. Ranjit is the co-founder and CEO of Pratilipi. Pratilipi is a company that's recently acquired IVM, and Ranjit on this episode discusses his plans to build a homegrown media empire, his love for comics, and how India can have its own comic cinematic universe. And finally, Cyrus had an exciting week. We had some amazing guests this week. We had Vishal Gondal come and talk about Fauji. We had Atish Tathir talk about the various issues that he had been facing with his OCI card and other things like that. We had Adam Dow talk about things going on in the US and the evolution of what's happening there. We had Siddharth Kannan come and talk about his history with Cyrus and his new show. So definitely do come check that out as well. And with that, I hope to see you again next week.
Want to learn something new and have a few minutes to spare? Well, then go for the Traveling Professor's Diary, where I, Siddharth Deshmukh, the Traveling Professor, will help you glean from all the insights that I've gained from wherever I've traveled, learned, taught, and repeated. Join me every Tuesday and Thursday on the IVM Podcast website, app, or wherever you get your podcasts from.